TALtalks welcomes Jon Proctor, President of Paladin Rescue Alliance. Paladin means to be a defender and advocate for a noble cause. Paladin Rescue Alliance defends and advocates for human trafficking victims. It works across 3 pillars of prevention, rescue, and aftercare to build freedom, hope, and a future for victims of human trafficking. Paladin provides scholarships to keep children in school, which is a highly effective method for protecting them from trafficking. Working with partner schools, Paladin educates children about anti-human trafficking measures, imparts swimming and water safety skills, and fosters English language proficiency. Paladin distributes essential educational, medical, and food supplies to schools and villages, addressing life development needs and supporting the well-being of these vulnerable communities. The rescue and aftercare activities of Paladin were also highly effective in defending human trafficking. Let's welcome Jon Proctor.
I'm excited to be here today. What a great video. Can I buy that after this? Yeah, so great video. So we're an anti-human trafficking organization. We have 501c3 status in the US. We have foundation status in Thailand, which is primarily where we work. Thailand, to a lesser extent, Myanmar. So as the video said, we do work across 3 pillars: prevention, rescue, and aftercare. All the photos in here in the slideshow were shot on location in Thailand. So I love this photo. Sun coming over the mountain. Our office is in Chiang Mai, which is in northern Thailand, about 8 hours north of Bangkok. So this is titled Rescue to Counteroffensive Against Human Trafficking. Human trafficking is a really complex problem, and we attack it across these 3 pillars. We want the first pillar, well, these 3, prevention, rescue, and aftercare. But the first pillar is prevention. We want to prevent children from ending up in bars, brothels, massage parlors. They don't need to end up there. They need to be in school. They need to have opportunities. This photo, we shot this at a village called Kermor in northern Thailand. We were the first foreigners to ever set foot in that village. I love this photo. I think it's our most iconic photo. So we went up to this village, and this village has probably a population of a few hundred, and there is a school there, but that school ends in 6th grade. And this is the problem in Thailand and Myanmar, is that while education is free, a lot of these children live in remote rural areas, and those schools only go to 6th grade. So to go on, they have to go to a boarding school. Well, that costs money. So this is a question that the parents might say, do you want to eat or do you want to go to school? Well, it shouldn't have to be that choice, right? So we serve as protectors, guardians of those at risk of exploitation and slavery, primarily children, young adults. Big thing we do to prevent children from ending up in human trafficking is provide educational scholarships. So we'll come in and we'll say, hey, we're going to pay for this child to go to a boarding school. By going to a boarding school, it does a couple of things. Number one, they continue their education, right, on through high school. We actually have a couple students now in college that have been in our program for several years. And so it provides a boarding school, housing, medicine, school supplies, etc., right? Second thing it does is it prevents them from being trafficked, right? We know where they are, they're protected by the school, they're protected by us. Every child in our scholarship program, we have a database, child's ID number, child's name, parent's name, current photo. Every year we update the photo, so we know where that child is all the time. And here's the cool thing, we never give the money to the parents, we never give the money to the child. We open a bank account, we give the teacher the bank card, they keep track of that. Because the last thing we want to have happen is when we go up to see Cindy Lou Who at school, and she's not there. So we go to her house, and she's home, and parents have a new iPhone. Well, we don't want to do that, right? So we're very particular about how we do that. Another thing, part of our prevention component is what we call Breath of Life. And I'm going to show you a video of what this Breath of Life trip looks like. But we take swim teams from colleges and universities across America, and we go over to Thailand. We spend 2 weeks there. We teach children how to swim. We teach them anti-human trafficking education, and we teach them English language development. Now, people have told me there's no connection between being able to swim and being trafficked, and it's like, don't be so sure of that. Here's the idea. If we can teach children how to mitigate dangerous water situations, we can teach them how to mitigate dangerous people situations. And by the way, drowning is the #1 cause of death among Thai children 16 and younger. So we go into a school, we set up a pool. That pool is folded. It's about 3 feet by 2 feet. Unfolded, it's 32 feet long by 18 feet wide and holds 55,000 liters of water. So we set up at a school, we spend 10 days there, and we teach those 3 things. Outreach operations and community development. We'll go up, so the last photo on the bottom there, we did a Christmas party up at a village called Hui Kong. That village literally sits on top of a mountain. And getting up to that village, especially if it's during rainy season, I've never seen waterfalls come down the middle of a road like I saw there. It's very challenging. You have to hire professional drivers with 4-wheel drive trucks and so forth. So some of these places are really, really difficult to get to. And we were just there. We just went to a village. We had 4 new scholarship children come online this year from this one village. You think about getting to a village, that in itself is an adventure, because we're driving, again, another village on top of a mountain, and all of a sudden the road's gone and there's a river, and the river's the road now. So you drive through the river, driving through the jungle, and just up's the village, and there it is. So vulnerable population groups, we go into those villages and see who can we scholarship to school, try to find out level of education of the children there and so forth. So that's the prevention components. Rescue, working with government, non-government, anti-trafficking units to free victims from trafficking situations. So we know that children are trafficked into bars, brothels, massage parlors. Adults are, not just in Thailand, Myanmar, but all throughout Southeast Asia and America. We know it's a huge problem. So that rescue component, we work with other organizations to try to free victims from those exploitative situations. So I like to say that really what this involves is it involves walking on the needy side of the street. What does that mean? Well, there's a city in Pattaya, Thailand. It's called Walking Street. You walk down the middle on the right side, bars, brothels, massage parlors. On the left side, restaurants, those sorts of things. We could sit over on the nice side, the restaurants, having meals and so forth, and wait for somebody to come out of the bar or the brothel, or hopefully get themselves out. But that's not gonna happen. So we have to walk on that needy side of the street. And that goal, in these 2 photos on the left, one's in Chiang Mai, one's in Pattaya. But that goal is to go in there and to connect. I'm going to go in there like the army and grab people and run out. It won't work that way. It won't work that way. We go in there and we connect. We start a conversation. We start to build a relationship. We start to build some trust. Because if I go in there and I say, hey, I'm here to help you, it's not going to work, right? She doesn't know. She doesn't know who I am. She knows what's here, what she has right now, but going out the door with me could be a far, far worse, right? But our goal, walk on the needy side of the street, get these young ladies out of there, into our transitional safe house, and then into something more permanent, right? Where they can have what we say, build freedom, hope, in the future, get an education, get some job skills. About 7 years ago, we were walking down, we were in Pattaya doing some work, and there's also a place called Beach Road where people are for sale. And this young lady from Vietnam, been over in Vietnam a few days, told me point blank, I have no job, I have no education, I have no money, what am I supposed to do? And it's like, I didn't really have an answer for her back then, but now we do, which goes into our 3rd pillar. And we say, provide freedom, hope, and a future for human trafficking victims. At its core level, at its basic core level, human trafficking is about jobs. There are a lot more complexities that are involved there, but at its core level, it's about jobs, right? So what can we teach people to do? What sort of jobs could we provide to somebody like this Vietnamese lady who had no education, no job skills? So we've been working on this for about 4 years. We're going to be launching this, I think, Q1 of next year. It's called Paladin Mat Company, and we're a manufacturer and seller of residential and commercial floor mats. Here's the good news. We can teach anybody to slice, dice, stitch, glue, package, and ship. Anybody. Anybody. Even I could learn that. So, that's going to provide employment opportunities. So, it's made from a different composite material. I'm not going to tell you what that is right now. But, different composite material than what your standard floor mat is. We're currently looking at this space in the middle for our factory. And here's the goal, right? When we go in and make these connections in these bars, brothels, massage parlors, we have an answer for you now. We have an answer for you now. We have an opportunity for you. What do you want to be? Hey, you may not want to be a mat technician for life, but by being a mat technician, get you out the door, get you into a sustainable job. Now you can go to school. Now you can do whatever you want, right? So it's a pathway. Think of that as a pathway. Life skills training, counseling partnerships, all of those things are important. We don't need to reinvent the wheel. We don't need to start from scratch and do everything. When we do these Breath of Life trips, we work with A21, which is another anti-human trafficking foundation, working in Thailand. They have a whole curriculum built in Thai for anti-human trafficking education for children. So we partner with them and have them help us do that. Just a little bit about accountability and credibility. So we're on GuideStar, which is now Candid. We've been a platinum member status on there for about 5-6 years. Our financial performance metrics and everything are on there. We belong to another group called Liberty Asian Network. It's a big platform of anti-human trafficking organizations working throughout out Asia and so forth. We have the word alliance in our name for a reason. When we work together, we're a lot stronger, right? We're a lot stronger. Training education with government anti-human trafficking units, Department of Special Investigation, Anti-Human Trafficking Division, both in Thailand. And then some corporate partners, Amazon Smile, Private Choice, and so forth. So, I want to show you this quick video. This is a video, I call it an impact highlights, because when we do these Breath of Life trips, they're very powerful, they're very impactful. You know what the hardest thing about doing these trips is? I always tell these college students and coaches when they come over, the hardest thing, saying goodbye. You spend 10 days there with kids from kindergarten through high school, investing in their lives, making their world a better place. So this one is, and we always use a military alphabet when we name these teams. The reason we do that is because we don't want to say Paladin Rescue plus Whitworth plus A21 plus Sotia Municipal. It just gets too long. So here it is. This is what this looks like. Two things I know why those trips are so impactful and so powerful. Number one, when we show up at a school and we make the ask, we say, hey, we want to bring in a team here, we want to teach the kids how to swim, teach them anti-human trafficking. That ask is about that big. And we have schools, we have directors of schools coming and asking us, hey, can you do this at our school? And it's big because the school will put on a party, they'll put on a sports day. It's a big deal for them. Second reason I know it's a big deal is because the provincial director of education shows up. We have an opening ceremony, we have a closing ceremony. It's a big deal. It's a really big deal and really impactful. Those 2 trips we did last year, we impacted, I want to say 600 kids. We not only teach the kids to swim, but we also teach the teachers and the staff at the school as well. So it's impactful, it's powerful. One other thing about that trip last year, just an interesting story. It's kind of funny now, it wasn't funny at the time, but we were filming the pool. So I was over there with my country director and social worker. My social worker wasn't feeling well, so we left her in Chiang Mai. Country director and I went out to the school, which is about a 4.5-hour drive. And so we went up there, we put up the pool. We're missing 1 pair of legs, and they're U-shaped legs. So I made this decision, let's go ahead and fill it. View, our social worker can put the legs on the bus and send it up to us, and we'll just put it in. Big mistake. There's a reason there's all those legs, right? So we get the pool about 3/4 way full, and it's bent, the legs on both sides, and it's bent the bearing pole. And the team from Whitworth University is showing up in 2 days. So I'm talking to my country director, we gotta get some replacement parts. So she was able to call the place in Bangkok where we bought the pool. We got replacement parts up there in 1 day. 1 day. So got the pool put together, ran a great trip, and that's another thing about to be successful in this kind of work, you've got to have a phenomenal team. Phenomenal team. Thai nationals, because we work in Thailand, Thai nationals, both a social worker and country director. Lead this with a quote from President George W. Bush. There's an evil in the abuse and exploitation of the most innocent and vulnerable. Victims of the sex trade see little of life before they see the very worst of life. An underground of brutality and lonely fear. It's not just the sex trade, it's also the labor trade, right? One of the things, and this is really hard to do, and I appreciated the talk about from Jack, right, from the rescue mission. What do you do with the person holding the cardboard sign? Here's another one for you. What do you do when a little girl or a little boy comes up to you and tries to sell you a rose? For us, we don't buy it. We don't buy it because that's labor trafficking. And while grandma and mom are sitting over at the sidewalk, little Cindy Lou Who here is trying to sell roses and stuff. So that's no good either. So as I said, our main office is in Chiang Mai, Thailand. We have an office here in Denver as well. There's our contact information. We shot this photo in Koh Samui, Thailand, beautiful island. Thailand's a great place. It's called Land of 1,000 Smiles for a reason. People are extremely friendly and so forth. And I learned really quickly that, to be effective in this space, you have to have a great team on the ground, but you yourself also have to understand the culture, and you have to speak the language. You gotta learn to speak the language. So for the past 2-3 years, I've been learning Thai, which is no easy task. It's a tonal language, so there's 5 different tones. So the word ma, said with 5 different tones, can mean mother, bird, horse, dog, and one other one. So if I was going to say Niku Ma, introducing my mother, and it's the wrong tone, I could say this is my dog or this is my horse. All right, thank you, really appreciate it.